Hello viewers. Today let's try to understand your history chapter 3, Nationalism in India. Here we have the first part of your chapter, that is the First World War, Khilafat and non-cooperation movement. In this video we will cover the First World War and Khilafat. Non-cooperation movement we will cover in another video. Now we know that the First World War occurred between the two power blocks, that is the Allied power and the Central power, between the years 1914 to 1918. So during the war there were new economic and political scenario in various parts of the world. In India also there was what changes in the economic and political scene. So let's try to understand. So the first changes was increase in defense expenditure. So since war was going on, defense expenditure was very much in need. So the government, in order to meet the demand of the soldiers, the government took loans and also increased taxes, such as custom duties were raised, and also in India for the first time income tax was introduced. So it was during the First World War income tax was introduced in India for the first time. So between 1913 to 1918, so prices of things and commodities went up, soared up so high that it almost, when it reached 1918, the prices was almost double. Now next we have what? Forced recruitment. So British government in India were recruiting soldiers from villages, by force. Those who did not want to join soldiers also, they were allowed to join by force. That's why the name here, forced recruitment. Why they search soldier in villages? Because villages people were what? Mostly illiterate, and they won't raise such questions, They did not know much about the laws also. That's why they did not collect, the government did not collect soldiers from the cities area, but mostly from the villages area. That's why the name here, forced recruitment. So this was during the war. So after the war, people thought that their hardship would be over, but it was not so. So we know that the war ended in 1918, but what happened was that in 1918 to 1919 and in 1920 to 1921, crops fell in many parts of India. There was famine, shortages of food. So above that, an epidemic, influenza epidemic, broke out and spread. That's why, because of shortages of food, because of epidemic, because of these factors, millions of people died in India. So India was facing very hardship situation. Under such conditions, a new leader emerged in India. He was none other than our leader Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. So Mahatma Gandhi, returned India in the year 1915. Before that, he was organizing Satyagraha Movement in South Africa. In South Africa, he saw how the white people were oppressing the black Indians. So he organized Satyagraha Movement, among the Indians, among the blacks, who were residing in South Africa. Mostly they were working as indentured labor, against this oppressive rule of the white people. And this Satyagraha movement was successful also in South Africa. After he returned to India, he also started organizing Satyagraha movement in various parts of India. Now let's try to understand what is the idea behind Satyagraha movement. The word Satyagraha implies truth and non-violence. So according to Satyagraha, if a person or if the cause is true, if the person is not wrong, if oppressor is oppressing the person, then that particular person did not have to resort to violence against the oppressor in order to prove that the oppressor is wrong. Instead, according to idea of Satyagraha, the person can win the heart of the oppressor by appealing to his conscience, by persuading him to see the truth by persuading him to accept that the oppressor is wrong. Okay, so this is the idea behind Satyagraha movement. Now, Gandhiji organized Satyagraha movement in various parts of India. Some of the movement are listed here. Okay, movement, Satyagraha movement in 1916. Okay, in 1916, Gandhiji organized Satyagraha movement in Champaran district in Bihar. Okay, so what happened in Champaran district? Okay, at that time there was indigo plantation system. Okay, and the indigo planters were oppressing the peasants who were working in the indigo field. Okay, so Mahatma Gandhi organized among the indigo peasants who were working in the indigo plantations. Okay, in order to awaken them. Okay, in order to awaken and raise their voice against the oppressor. Okay, so this was in 1916. Now next we have what? 1917. In 1917 also, Gandhiji organized Satyagraha movement in Kheda district of Gujarat. Okay, so what happened in Gujarat at that time? Because I already mentioned that there was shortage of food and there was also a plague epidemic. Okay, in Gujarat. So the peasants of Kheda district, okay, they could not pay the revenue. Okay, the government has raised the revenue and they could not pay, so they were appealing. Okay, they were appealing the government to excuse. Okay, this or to exempt the revenue, but the government did not listen. That's why, okay, against the government, okay, Gandhiji organized Satyagraha movement among the peasants of Kheda district. Now next we have what? 1918. Okay, 1918 also Gandhiji organized Satyagraha movement in Ahmedabad. Okay, in Ahmedabad, okay, the cotton mill workers, okay, were paying very less wages. So the workers were just appealing the mill owners to increase their wages. But the mill owners did not listen. That's why against the mill owner, Gandhiji helped to organize Satyagraha movement among the cotton mill workers. Okay, in most of the places, okay, Satyagraha movement proved successful also. Now, so this is about Satyagraha movement. Now next, let's come to Roulette Act 1919. Now in 1919, the British government in India passed a new law known as what? Roulette Act. Okay, so before passing such laws, okay, those Indian members who were there in Imperial Legislative Council, okay, they were against these laws. Okay, they were prohibiting, okay, the government not to pass such laws, but hurriedly, okay, the British passed such laws, okay, known as Roulette Act. So according to Roulette Act 1919, okay, political prisoners could be detained, okay, in prison, okay, for 2 years without any trial. Okay, so after knowing such kind of act, unjust act, Mahatma Gandhi also, okay, was against such unjust act, and many people, many leaders and Indian were very angry, okay, about hearing this act. So Gandhiji, okay, he decided to organize another Satyagraha movement against such act known as Roulette Satyagraha. He decided to observe a hartal on 6th April. So Roulette Satyagraha, okay, so when this Satyagraha movement took place, there were rallies, okay, people were organizing rallies, there were strikes, okay, in railway workshops, and shops were also closed down. Okay, so seeing this Roulette Satyagraha in progress, the government got scared and they started thinking that such movement, okay, if it deepens and it might not, okay, disrupt the lines of communications like telegraph system or railways. Okay, so the government decided, okay, to repress the movement. For that, various leaders were picked up from, local leaders were picked up from Amritsar, and also Gandhiji was also not allowed to enter, okay, Delhi. Then what happened in Amritsar? Okay, once there was a peaceful procession going on, but the police fire, okay, on the peaceful procession. That's why the people, okay, who were there in the procession got angry, and they started attacking government institutions, okay, such as police stations, okay, such as post office. So the government took more repressive measures. What happened was that martial law was imposed. Okay, martial law was imposed. According to martial law, the head of the military was given the power of the government, and General Dyer was made the commander. Now, after this, after martial law was imposed, okay, an incident took, okay, place on 13 April 1919 in Amritsar in Punjab. Okay, so during those days, Baisakhi festival was going on. So in Amritsar, there was a garden known as Jallianwala Bagh. Okay, so this garden was having some exit points. So people were gathering inside the Jallianwala Bagh. Some of the people were coming from nearby villages. Okay, they did not know that martial law was imposed to watch this. Okay, this Baisakhi festival. Okay, so they were gathered. Crowds were gathered inside the Jallianwala Bagh, and some of the people were those among Indian peoples who were angry with this repressive measures of the such laws of the government. Okay, so this General Dyer, okay, all exit points, okay, were blocked under his order, and he ordered the troops to fire on the crowds. Okay, so firing took place, and hundreds of people died, and many more hundreds got injured. This incident came to be known as Jallianwala Bagh massacre or Jallianwala Bagh tragedy in history. Okay, after this incident, okay, when the question was raised why General Dyer was doing such act, okay, he answered that in order to create terror or fearness in the minds of Satyagrahis, okay, he did such act. Now, after hearing the incident of Jallianwala Bagh massacre, okay, many North Indian towns and cities, okay, many people got angry. People were enraged. That's why there were strikes and there were these attacks on government buildings. Okay, so the government, okay, started repressive measures again. So what they did was that the government, the police, okay, they ordered the police to do some repressive measures. The Satyagrahis were caught, and they were allowed to rub their nose on the ground, okay, and some other Satyagrahis, okay, were allowed to do sahib, salam, okay, or salute to the sahib. Okay. And some of them were allowed to crawl on the ground also, and many villages were also bombed, okay, in order to create terror in the minds of people. So seeing such violence, okay, Gandhiji was against any kinds of violence, so Gandhiji called off Satyagraha Movement. Okay, so after Roulette Satyagraha was called off, Gandhiji thought to start another movement, which is more nationwide, more broad-based movement. Okay, so in order to make the movement successful, Gandhiji decided to unite Hindus and Muslims together. So in those days, what happened was that after the war ended, the war ended with the victory of Allies power, we know that, and this central power was defeated. Okay, so Turkey was on the side of central power. Okay, that's why Turkey was defeated, and in those days, Turkey was ruled by Ottoman Empire. Okay, and then after the war, there was a rumor spread. Okay, so rumor spread that this the people, the Europeans or Allies people who won the war, they were going to impose harsh treaty on the Turkey's emperor. Okay, and at that time, the Turkey's emperor was considered as a spiritual head, or it was named as Khilafat, also Khilafat, or spiritual head of the Islamic world. That's why all over the world, when such news was heard, Muslim people got angry in India also. Okay, so against the harsh treaty which was going to impose on this Turkish emperor or the Khilafat, okay, a committee was met in India known as the Khilafat Committee under the leadership of Ali brothers, okay, namely Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. Okay, so Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali were the leaders of the Khilafat movement. Okay, so Gandhiji decided to took the Khilafat issue, the advantage. Okay, Gandhiji thought that it was the right time to unite the Hindus and the Muslims together. Okay, so he started discussing, okay, about the Khilafat issue with these Ali brothers, okay, with Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. Then they also agreed. Then after that, Mahatma Gandhi, he proposed, he proposed in Congress session, okay, happened in Nagpur 1920, Congress session of 1920 Nagpur. Okay, he told the leaders, okay, who were in Congress, okay, Congress session, he told to unite, okay, it would be better to unite Hindus and Muslims together by bringing together non-cooperation movement with Khilafat movement. Okay, so this is about what? Khilafat movement. This is the end of what? The end of First World War and Khilafat movement. Non-cooperation movement we will be discussing in the next video.